Welcome to the January the 8th, 2002 History Tape number 444. We're delighted to welcome you to It Happened in Grand Prairie as we bring you the history of our city and some of the people that make history in our city and are continuing probably to make history even till this day. We're very honored today to have a very special gentleman, and Mr. Tom Hart, the city manager of the city of Grand Prairie, is on stage and ready to go. Mr. Hart, we want to welcome you to the set, young man.
Well, Mrs. Jackson, thank you. It is, as always, a pleasure to be here today.
Wonderful. Now, as the city manager, coming to Grand Prairie from Euless, Texas, how many years ago?
We will have been here 3 years at the end of February.
At the end of February.
Right.
And you know, time really passes by when you're having fun. And you are having fun.
No, I'm having a blast, Mrs. Jackson.
I do know that.
We're having a blast. There is just so much going on. You can't help having fun here. So,
Yes.
But I don't like the fact that time is going so fast now. Can we slow it down just a little?
If we do, we would be very sad because the slowing down would put us in Whitechapel Memorial Gardens or somewhere.
Okay, well, let's keep it going.
First of all, to introduce you back to our viewing audience, as the city manager, it's wonderful to have someone at the helm, but tell us a little bit now. Since you have come on board as the city manager, you have moved from Euless to Grand Prairie, Texas. Help set the stage for us about how the family is adjusting, what the family is doing, and do they like Grand Prairie, Texas as well as you do?
Great, I'd be most happy to answer that. Yes, we got moved here fairly quickly after we accepted the job and started work here. It was almost a good news, bad news. It was good news to be moving to Grand Prairie, but bad news, the Grand Prairie housing market 2 years ago and even today, we're booming here.
Yes,
so.
Yeah.
As we were looking for a home, it was amazing what we found here in Grand Prairie. Homes were selling so quick. By the time you'd find something, you better get an offer in. So good news, bad news. We did finally find a place. We were very fortunate. We had some kind of unusual parameters with the home because of having a relative living with us. We needed some bedroom configurations, which made it a little more difficult. But we finally, the good Lord works in mysterious ways, and we were getting so frustrated finding something that worked for us, and one day, all of a sudden, there's a house for sale that had been being built, and it had been being built for somebody that got transferred.
Oh dear, that was your luck.
It was our luck.
Yes.
Their loss, our luck. It fit our needs. We were able to buy that house and get into it, and we have thoroughly enjoyed it. We got moved in around July, and the family got settled, started school, and you know what happens. You've got kids. They get once they make friends, it becomes home, and they've made friends now. And Susan and I, same way. It's we've gotten settled. We got active with a little church down in South Grand Prairie called Trailwood Methodist, just a great small church down in that area, and Grand Prairie is really blessed. We've got some wonderful churches in our community.
Yes, we do have.
And so we've got involved down there, and so things are just kind of hitting on all cylinders now. We have really enjoyed it.
Now, how about the boys? How about Travis and Austin?
Travis and Austin, like I said, they never look back. Once they got here and started making friends, they have enjoyed it. They've gotten, they're settled in their schools, and they just, I think they thoroughly enjoy it. We've always been lake people, and I brag about Grand Prairie because we're one of the few cities that can say what I'm fixing to say. If you like a lake, you don't have to go very far. We have the most wonderful recreational amenity located right here in the heart of Grand Prairie, and that is Lake Joe Pool.
Yes.
And our family has really enjoyed that. It has been something that's made the quality of life very special for us in Grand Prairie, and my boys have really enjoyed that.
And they like the skate park too, don't they?
I think that's probably, I've been in city work ever since they were born, and it's hard for them to get excited about a lot of aspects of city work.
Yes.
Police department, fire department, water department, street department. But when I told them one night that we were going to, as part of our park system, add a skate park, and we were going to be one of the first cities in the Metroplex, if not the first, to add a skate park for the kids. Yes, all of a sudden they kind of liked my business
Yes,
then, got their attention. So yes, they have thoroughly enjoyed that, as have. I saw a report the other day, and I guess we're digressing here, but just let me tell you, I was staggered. It was, for the first 8 or 9 months of the operation of that skate park, 20-something thousand kiddos had gone through the park.
That's amazing. That's outstanding.
Staggering numbers.
Yes, it is.
Staggering numbers. So yeah, we're excited. Now a lot of those were repeat kids.
Yes.
But what I was told, registrations. That's like, you know, one of my kids going to register to use the park. The number was over 8,000. It's been some time since I heard. So yeah, that's what, when I talk about Grand Prairie, you have to talk about every aspect of a community. It takes the whole package to make a great place to live, and that is a good city government, you know, a nice, you find a home you like in a neighborhood you like, but it's the amenities, it's the parks. As I said, it's the lake that we've enjoyed. I enjoy playing golf with my boys, so we have 2 wonderful golf facilities here. And then, you know, if you ask the kids, well, we've got a skate park here. They tend to brag about that more than they do our libraries now, I have to say. And we've got wonderful libraries here also, but they tend to like the skate park better.
Yes. Now, let's get from a family situation into the city work.
Super.
And you've had an exciting year this year. But one of the things that I understand that you are the mastermind behind the lake parks out south of town. Tell us why you thought of that. What brought that to your mind?
Well, let me say, I don't know about mastermind. That was something that became obvious after I got here. Sometimes you have to have some fresh, kind of a fresh eyes, look at things. You can be seeing things for a long time, and it can be, you know, the old proverbial thing right under your face. When we got here, the staff was giving me a tour of our existing parkland. Plus, they were showing me some parkland that was being thought about being purchased. And we had picked out about 100 acres that we had about $3 million, about $30,000 an acre in there to purchase. On the same day they gave me that tour, they took me through Lynn Creek Park down at Joe Pool Lake. First time I had been to that park, and it was unbelievable. It was beautiful. It was enormous. There was all of this land sitting there that was just not being used. So I asked the question, you know, being naive, I said, why are we buying land so close to here when there's all of this land sitting here not being used? Well, that's when I was told it was TRA and it wasn't ours, et
Corps of
cetera, et cetera.
Engineers.
You know. Well, you know, philosophically, I've always worked under the attitude that, you know, the answer is always no till you ask. So I said, let's go ask. Now, you know, again, we don't work solo here. First person I went and grabbed was the mayor, and I said, Mayor, you know, what do you think about this? Well, the mayor said, let's go do it. So the mayor got you know, partnered with me day one. And we started the ball rolling. We went and started meeting with TRA. We ended up meeting with our Congress folks. Before it was over with, we were in Washington. We had to get bills passed, as you know. So it was a long effort. We went to the council and told them what we were talking about. And of course, I didn't know you guys that well yet.
Yes.
I was learning.
Yes.
And I didn't know if you guys would say, Tom, you're nuts. That's not what we want. No, this council said, hey, that's the kind of ideas we want. That's going to let us do some things for our citizens. Let's go try. And that's what we did. We tried. We not only tried, we were lucky. We got it done. Took a whole team effort. Mayor, city council, staff working on it. Our 2 congressmen did
Didn't they do wonderfully well?
They did. Congressman Frost and Congressman Barton. I mean, let me say, if you're seeing this show, thank you for your help. The Trinity River Authority staff worked with us. It all came together. It took an act of Congress, literally, as you know, an act of Congress. Then we got vetoed by the president because our bill was attached onto another bill. Finally, we got it repassed, and President Clinton signed the bill. And we now have 3,000 acres of parkland. which we got for a little over $4 million, plus we got some cash back. So for not much more than what we were going to pay for 100 acres, we got 3,000 acres, and we're going to do some exciting things down there, as you know.
And that's on a lease term.
Yeah, we have got that for 99 years, but with the option that we can potentially even renew it beyond that.
That's an exciting adventure, because with one park versus the 4 or 5 that you've gotten now, you're going to be the park city of the world in Texas.
We are going to be. We're going to have one of the most exciting park programs, not just the lake parks, but it's the whole package. But Ms. Jackson, let's go back. Actually, before I came to work here, when I was deciding if I wanted to come to Grand Prairie, I asked the city council, I said, tell me what 3 things are most important to you. I said, I'd like to know this is your city. You're the council members. Tell me what's important to you. You named 3 things to me: parks, economic development, and ambulance service. Okay? So that told me a lot. That told me that this council was interested in quality of life for the citizens. They were interested in the safety of the citizens, and they were interested in this city prospering. So those were good answers to me. And, you know, I think we've achieved some things in every regard. You know, with the parks we're talking about, our citizens supported us. We asked them for the quarter-cent sales tax. They passed that. That trust of our citizens is going to let us have a park system and leave a legacy that I think will be unparalleled in the state of Texas. Now, we won't get it built all this year, you know that. It's
Right.
going to take years to achieve, but we're going to do it. Number 2, EMS.
Yes, very important.
Extremely important. I mean, it's one of those things that I don't know, you just can't put high enough up on the yardstick. We had a contract, like a lot of cities did, to operate our EMS, and the problem with that, there were times we had very few ambulances in this city. We have gone from that system now to the system that the council approved that is not only great, it's innovative. We funded 4 ambulances and crews full-time. We bought 3 additional ambulances that would be dual staffed with our ladder truck staffs that do not have to run as often as like a regular fire truck.
Yes.
So the majority of the time, we've got up to 7 ambulances now ready to roll with advanced life support paramedics on staff. These are fully equipped units that can do everything you see on TV. You know, they can push certain drugs.
Yes.
They can do defibrillation. They can do what they call intubation for airway management. I mean, they can do all of that. We still have some paramedic capabilities even on our fire trucks, so that if a fire truck happens to get there even quicker than an ambulance,
Yes.
they can be working on a person here even while our ambulances are come. So I think when this council looks back as what they achieved as a council, that should be. You said it was important, and I think you should note it as one of the great achievements of this council.
That's under the direction of the fire department, right?
It absolutely is, and if you don't mind, let me tell you, let me just brag about them for a minute.
Would you?
Because you guys told us to go get it done. They went and got it done.
Yes.
They actually prepared a bid and bid that just like a private company would do, so that the council could compare that with other options. They prepared a winning bid. They said they would deliver the service to start on August 1, a little over a year ago. When did they start? August 1 at midnight. They didn't miss it. They didn't miss it by a minute. They were right on schedule. They brought it in on budget, and that system is running, and it has been running effectively ever since then. So I'm proud of that, and this council should be proud of that, and most important, our citizens ought to be proud of that. So,
Chief Cliff Nelson has been just a stalwart person in that movement too, because he has really led his group in an admirable way.
Absolutely. I've worked with lots of fire chiefs in the years, but we are fortunate here to have one of the great ones, and he did exactly what he said he would do.
A product of South Grand Prairie High School and right on up the ladder, and now the chief of all of the firemen in the city of Grand Prairie, Texas. I think that is so remarkable.
It is. It's nice that we've
Yes.
got a hometown person that
Yes.
grew up here and went on to lead such a large and great department.
You
So,
bet. That's wonderful.
good.
How about economic development?
Well, I was going to say, we touched on the first two. We've touched on parks. Let me one point back on parks before we do. We've talked about the lake parks. You mentioned GPX. We've got, as you know, right this moment, millions of dollars under construction all over this city on our park
Exactly.
programs. We have a new football complex for our kids. We just let. We've got a soccer complex under construction. That's going to
Second
be
to none.
Oh, it's going to be gorgeous. We've got our work being done to our ball fields. We've got GPX. The skate park just got finished. We've got other projects going around the community. We've got improvements to our swimming pool. Another project that we're going to be one of the first in the Metroplex to do is what we're calling our Splash Factory.
Yes, tell us about that.
Oh, what an exciting deal. You know, what cities are finding is the old, what we call hole-in-the-ground swimming pools. You still have to have them for teaching swimming lessons and stuff, but they're not as exciting and fun. I mean, kids want more exciting things. So what we have developing at
Charlie Taylor
Rec Center, right behind it, we're building what's called a splash pad, and it is going to be a wonderful facility that it's an above ground kind of playground for kids to come play in the water. I mean, parents are going to want to come from all over this city, bring their kids. We're going to have great shade places for the parents to sit. The kids can get out there with the water cannons and all these fun stuff and squirt and shoot and have a good time. I guarantee you will see this facility on the news. It's going to be so exciting. And we hope to open that by first part of this summer.
Oh, wonderful.
So we've got so much happening, and in addition to the lake parks, it's happening all over our city. So there's parks. We've talked about EMS. Economic development, I can probably sum that one up pretty quickly. What you're saying, it's happening in Grand Prairie. Isn't that what you say at the end of every show?
Exactly.
Well, may I use your words?
You may use it.
It's happening in Grand Prairie. I mean, we
really
are
is.
busting loose. Residential development, multifamily, commercial, industrial. In fact, we're one of the leaders in the Metroplex now as far as square footage and things happening. I had a call from another city manager just this morning, and he says every time we turn around and it's something to do with industrial, he says we're competing with Grand Prairie, and we're winning. So we are, and why? Let's talk about it. I'd love to sit here and say, well, Ms. Jackson is good management, okay?
Yes, you take all the credit, you and the mayor. I have to
the
watch.
mayor would say it's good,
Yes.
good mayoring.
Yeah, good mayoring.
Let's be honest.
Yes.
It's good location.
Yes, it is. Right in the middle of the world.
Good location.
Yes.
We're in Texas. We're in the middle of the Metroplex. We're right next to DFW Airport. We've got our own airport for service. We have great road system coming in and out of Grand Prairie. We have abundant available land. Land prices are still reasonable, okay?
Yes.
Now you put all of that into a pot, you stir it around, and guess what you get? You get a city that's booming. We just opened the new Super Walmart. We just a couple of weeks ago made the announcement. We got the new Super Sam's coming next to it. Got Office Depot, PetSmart. We've got more restaurants coming in 20. We've got projects going up in the north part of the community, industrial stuff hitting. Like I said, residential. It is just hitting on all cylinders. We are a very fortunate community.
You are very fortunate as a city manager to have some things happen, very unfortunate things on the frontage roads, but before that came to bear, you had the Sowell group in northeast Grand Prairie that were able to facilitate a frontage road there.
Yes.
Are we going to be able to do any more of that?
Well, you've touched on a negative area right now, and I mean, of course, there's always got to be some negative
Yes.
areas. The new policy that the state is coming out with on no service roads is really devastating to us because the council had made that one of our priorities.
Yes.
And you had authorized us some money that we had gotten from out of a COG fund that we were going to begin designing some of these service roads. We need them for various reasons, not only economic development, but to keep traffic flowing during wrecks, There's just a multitude of reasons. Air emissions, service roads are so important. And Grand Prairie got left out on service roads.
Yes.
So we were really moving forward on some projects, and we don't know where it's going now, Mrs. Jackson. I mean, quite frankly, we may not win that. And we're going to keep pushing. You asked me, will we get some more? I pray we do. I hope we do, but I don't know for sure. We'll try. We'll be trying.
If we do not get the support from the Texas TDOT and from the national, does that mean that the city of Grand Prairie will be forced on their own to provide our own service roads if we get them?
No, ma'am, it does not. In fact, that's you would think that was the worst situation.
Yes.
That the worst situation is instead of them funding, at least we're going to fund 50% of it before, that we might have to fund 100%. But what we're hearing, they may not allow them even if we pay for them.
And that is very sad.
As I said, that's devastating.
That is devastating to the city of Grand Prairie, but we'll work on it, won't we?
We will, and we'll look at other alternatives. I've learned a new word out of this. Now the new word is if you can't build frontage road, you build backage roads. So
yes.
we have good property that if it had better access, we think would be being developed today.
Yes.
So if we can't get a frontage road along the freeway to get it served, we may have to come in and build some, as they call them, backage roads. So. Yeah, we won't. I mean, it's not going to, when I say devastating, it's by no means a nail in our coffin, because we just got too much going on. But it just really hurts us, and we're going to try to solve it one way or the other.
What is the most exciting project for you for this year of 2001? Of all of the things that you've had your hands into, in your mind into, what is the premier excitement for you?
For 2001 we just finished, or
yes,
2002 coming up?
2001 we just finished. Then I'm going to ask you about the most exciting one in the future. That's next.
Well, I'd say for 2001, I've got to give you, I mean, I don't know if there's one, but we got our tax for roads
yes.
approved, a $0.25 that our citizens approved, that's going to let us do our road maintenance for 4 years. And we got our bond issue passed. I think that is a good.
That's a highlight, isn't it?
That is a highlight that is going to. That again, that's an endorsement by our citizens that they trust us with our money, with their money, and we're going to do something with that. I mean, infrastructure is something you guys have made a priority on this city council, and we're going to give our citizens some good roads out there. So I think that's one of the highlights of 2001. Let's see, the park, again, the park system,
had to be a close second.
That's so dear to my heart that's important. I guess on a little side note, I have to say I'm kind of proud of that editorial out of the Dallas Morning News the other day that gave Grand Prairie that report card.
Yes.
And of course, I wasn't the best student in the world, so I didn't get a lot of these. But it's kind of nice to see
get
one
an
of those. Dallas Morning News gave us an A this year, and I think that says a lot.
Yes,
I think that sums up 2001 for Grand Prairie.
Yes. All right, now we're looking down right today. This is January the 8th, and we're looking at 2002. And you're excited about 2002?
I am, and for several reasons. And I wished I could just give you one, but I can't. There's just too much. A number of those park projects that I talked about, Splash Factory, football, and all that stuff will be, in soccer complex, all of that will be culminating, coming online, being finished in 2002. So I'm excited about that. We've worked long and hard on the Next Stage project, the new Performing Arts Center that the city will own.
That's coming to bear pretty soon, isn't it?
In a few weeks, that opens. So in early 2002, that opens. We're excited about that. That is a world-class facility in Grand Prairie, Texas. People used to think when it got to certain type of events, big cultural events, big entertainment events, you had to go to the big cities, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Yes.
You don't. Dallas and Fort Worth is going to be coming to Grand Prairie now. We're going to have a world-class race facility sitting right next to a world-class performing arts facility, and that's in Grand Prairie, Texas, opens in 2002. So I'm excited about that. Some of our economic development deals we've been working on, a couple of major housing developments to the tune of several thousand homes are coming to a head that we're in negotiations on, and I think that will come to fruition. One has just broken ground, and I think two more will be breaking ground in the next year. So we've got a lot's going to be happening. Downtown renovation just has, it's not quite finished yet. We still got some lighting and stuff to do, but I think 2002 kind of opens a new door downtown Grand Prairie. So we're going to be doing some planning work in 2002 on a new kind of combination rec facility up in northeast Grand Prairie that I think is exciting.
Your new Bowles Park is immense. It goes all the way to Garcia Elementary.
Going to be an exciting area up there. So I think 2002 is shaping up to be just as exciting as 2001. So,
are you going to forecast anything really special for the people of Grand Prairie?
Forecast anything special? Well, I think everything I just talked about is pretty special.
It's coming right down the line, isn't it, for folks?
Oh my gosh, we've got, like I said, those parks are opening up. Our kids and not only kids, but with our parks, we've thought about parents with things like covered seating and things of that nature. So I think any of the people involved in those things are going to be so exciting. You know, I forgot we opened a new library in 2001.
Yes, you did.
I mean, a beautiful facility. I mean, we did so much. I'm sitting here, I'm embarrassed to think of the things that I'm forgetting to mention.
Well, how about the school? How about the schools? You have put down more sidewalks, more infrastructure for at least 5 new schools in the city of Grand Prairie. You have chopped down the speed limits and everything, cooperating with schools. That's one of your best works.
Well, we have a good relationship with the schools. You know, our after-school program has been a success here, and that's in partnership with the school and the Y. I think that's something that Grand Prairie is fortunate with. First of all, we've got several school districts, but we've got some great things going. If you don't mind, I could talk about projects, but I know we're getting near the end of this show. Let me just, on a personal note, say a couple of things. It has been an absolute honor and a pleasure to work for this mayor and city council. They're strong-willed people. They've got a strong vision for the city. They are strong policy makers, but they make it enjoyable. I feel like we work as a team. Speaking of team, I got to brag about one thing. We have a great staff here. You know, it's not hard to do my job when you've got a group of people. I've got 3 great deputy managers. I've got some super directors, police chief, fire chief, and the whole cadre of staff that are making the difference of making Grand Prairie wonderful. So I'd like to say thank you to the council, and I'd like to say thank you to the staff for working so well together and achieving so much. And
your sweet wife and your 2 sons for allowing you to be gone doing all the things extra.
They are great. I don't know if you'll see this beard much longer. My wife, I thought my wife had everything she wanted, an overweight bald guy, but she told me she wanted a beard.
I love it.
We're trying. Next time you see me on TV, it may be gone. Don't be surprised.
We're going to shape it up, though, and you're going to look like you should look.
All right, we're trying.
Thank you so much for today.
Thank you. Great
it's
time to be here.
And this is Ruthie Jackson, and we're closing out this wonderful beginning of a new year as history is as we live and do.